If you drive in an Indian city, you already know the antagonist of this story. It's the endless, suffocating gridlock that turns a short commute into an hour-long test of endurance. That traffic exacts a heavy physical toll. In stop-and-go conditions, you are working a heavy manual clutch pedal hundreds of times a day, leading straight to chronic fatigue in your left leg. Then there's the financial toll. When you are covering 50 to 100 kilometers a day, filling up the tank of a standard petrol car quickly eats a massive hole in your monthly budget. For years, buyers have faced a gap in the market. You could buy an automatic to save your leg, or you could buy a CNG car to save your wallet. You couldn't have both in a single vehicle. That is the problem the Tata Tiago AMT is designed to address. It combines an automated manual transmission with factory-fitted CNG, promising clutchless driving alongside low fuel costs. But bringing these two systems together is mechanically difficult. Does this setup actually work on the road, or do the engineering compromises make it difficult to live with? Automated manual transmissions, or AMTs, have a specific reputation. Because they are essentially manual gearboxes operated by a computer, shifts are often slow, resulting in a noticeable physical jerk or head nod every time the car changes gears. Tata's approach involved adding a feature usually reserved for more expensive segments, paddle shifters on the steering wheel. These paddles allow for a manual intervention. If you drive in the CNG node and manually tap the upshift paddle right before the engine peaks, you preempt the computer's timing. That infamous AMT jerk almost entirely disappears. Once you master that timing, navigating city traffic becomes a more fluid experience. You get the benefit of an automatic without the clunky interruptions usually found in this segment. Out on the open highway, the car settles into a comfortable cruise at 100 kilometers per hour, hovering right around 2,800 RPM without feeling strained. This chart shows the real prize, running costs. Cruising, the Tiago delivers roughly 30 kilometers per kilogram of CNG, significantly undercutting petrol. Project that over a month, and the monthly fuel bill shrinks to a fraction of regular costs. Purely as a tool for saving money and resting the left leg, the drivetrain performs exactly as marketed. However, achieving that efficiency required some strict engineering trade-offs. The most confusing quirk happens at a dead stop. When you idle the Tiago in pure petrol mode, the 3-cylinder engine shudders. You can feel the vibrations traveling up through the floorboard and into the steering wheel. Yet the moment you switch over to CNG, the engine instantly smooths out. The vibrations vanish, leaving the cabin quiet. It's a contrast that highlights an unrefined petrol tune. That same 3-cylinder engine also lacks low-end torque. When you first press the accelerator from a standstill, the power delivery is sluggish until the RPMs build up. This creates a problem on steep hills. Because the car lacks a button to disable traction control, forces you to rely on momentum. If a tire slips, the computer cuts engine power right when you need it to climb. Beyond the mechanical quirks, buyers also have to accept Tata entry-level manufacturing standards. If you look closely at the body and interior, you will find uneven panel gaps and rough plastic edges. The ergonomics are also a challenge for anyone over 5'10". Taller drivers will notice the limited under-thigh support in the seats and an awkwardly high dead pedal. Tata focused their engineering budget on the CNG and AMT integration. The result is an efficient drive, but the standard petrol experience and cabin refinement were left noticeably unpolished. Which brings us back to the driver sitting in traffic, watching their fuel needle drop. Does paying a 60,000 rupee premium over the manual version make mathematical sense for this specific gearbox? Yes, provided the buyer adjusts their expectations. You cannot buy this car expecting a refined or performance-oriented drive. You have to view it as a utilitarian tool. You are buying a mechanism to get you from point A to point B. To get the value, you must be willing to ignore the panel gaps and the petrol idling shakes. If your mission is to slash your daily running costs while ending the fatigue of a manual clutch, the Tiago CNG AMT is currently the most logical option for the Indian commute.